Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with Amy Keller, the intimacy expert, and we have some really fun things to share. You guys have been sending in your comments and your questions, coming to the locker room, which is the free private Q&A where you can ask Amy anything and she will give you immediate tangible tips, which are just complete game changers. And so we're just here to give a few insights based on some of the things that you guys have been sharing. And I'm excited because my community has been like, oh, we're kind of waiting for you to talk more about relationships and intimacy and sex. And I think that it's also a good reminder that like you're never going to miss what's meant for you in any aspect of your life. And if you can have more tools in your toolbox, especially when it comes to yourself, your body, and your relationships, everything else just gets to be a little bit easier. So I'm super grateful to be here.
So glad to be here. It's exactly that. Who doesn't need advice and love to talk about love, sex, and relationships? And especially these days, we need love, sex, and relationships more than ever, but they're more confusing than ever because we're in this immediacy stage.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things that we build together, and we've almost forgotten how to build them because we're so fast. So I love doing the locker rooms. I love talking to people. It's when I'm my best. And I love helping people, and this is my topic. So I just love having locker rooms where people can show up like a coach. You show up in the locker room, you can ask anything, you get real answers. I'm not just sharing theory. This we don't have like you say, Fallon, we ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
So we want real solutions, something you can put into action right now. And that's what a coach gives you. So I love having these and I love the feedback that we're getting and the questions that are coming in and being able to help people have love, sex in their relationship. Because that's where it's supposed to be the best. And that's where it is the best, especially when you think of it as like you're part of a team. And now you've got a coach who tells you how to make the team and how to score while you're part of a team. Make sense?
100%. And I love it because, what you're focusing on like becomes your reality. I've heard more people asking for my advice about relationships and wanting to be more on a team who had no idea that we were doing this. So the energy is out there and I freaking love it because you really do share things that are just life changing. And I mean, literally take some of them take 1 or 2 seconds and can completely change
I
everything.
knew, I knew there had to be a real solution for relationships because we've been practicing the same thing for way too long, and none of us gets married or into a relationship for it to end. So this 50% thing isn't isn't right for me. Everybody needs an intimacy game plan. That's also why I have that new download of Get the Game Plan.
Yes.
So I have a new
That
download of Get the Game Plan. We'll have a link to it someplace. And then there's workshops on it. You can show up at the locker room and ask me any questions for free. I want everybody to feel loved and like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
100%. And I wanted to speak to some of the FAQs and things like that. I had a couple people say that that time didn't work for them. And I said, if this is important to you, you will show up. And if this is important to you, the universe will support you showing up in whatever that looks like. So just want to throw that out there because it's extremely important. And
Mhm.
then also, real life example, I am just like so exhausted. And it's because I've been doing a lot of energy work and I've been doing a lot of releasing. It did like,
Mm.
I think I did a cord cutting of like 25 people last night, and it's a lot. And I have never usually, I never have, and now I'm cognizant that it's not the end of the world, but like I've never been like, oh, I'm too tired to have sex. But I feel like there's a lot of people who are in that boat, and I am feeling that compassion right now. So I want to hear a little bit more about your perspective on that and like what we could do.
We are here to energize ourselves and each other's. We are literally electromagnetic beings, as you know. So I think of us as batteries. So when
Mm,
we're getting together and we're going, oh, we're forcing our energy. that's exhausting. So if you go, I want to get with somebody and I have to have sex, that's exhausting. But if you go together and you recharge each other, then that's your emotional, that's your energetic energy going recharging, and you do that by huddling and humming together as my method is. But then if you think of sex is the physical expression of that energy recharge. And if you have great sex and a great connection, and you're having great emotional connection and great physical connection, then it recharges your system. It's like a reset. So when you're together with somebody in that space of love and you're sharing pleasure, which is why the world is so exhausting because it's not giving us back energy. But when you're in an intimate relationship and you're giving and receiving love and giving and receiving pleasure, you come out of it recharged. And that's the difference between what I teach is that it's not something you have to get done. It's no longer work. It's a place we go together to recharge each other. And when you're making these little sounds, it just changes the whole experience of giving and receiving energy. Hmm.
Totally. Yeah. You guys know about throat chakra activations and healing through music and frequency. And like Amy talks about in great depth, like when you do that humming sound and you're paying attention to the vibration in your neck and in your chest, like it really shifts things, which is just like super, super powerful. So we're coming out of Valentine's Day, and I know we both got some fun questions and comments from people about that. So thank you so much for submitting that and sharing with us. And I've always liked Valentine's Day. It's always just kind of been my favorite holiday. So gotta put my compassion cap on for those who just like really struggled with it. And for me, it's just about having fun. And so one of the next fun holidays, if you have never heard of this, like you're welcome, because it's just again like another fun thing to do. It's so Valentine's Day is February 14th, and let's be honest, like in general, it's usually putting a lot of pressure on the man to buy the woman a bunch of stuff. And usually there's a lot of expectations and like all of these things, and it's kind of crazy and ridiculous. So someone at some point decided to create March 14th being where the woman is in charge of taking care of her man. And they called it Steak and Blowjob Day. And I learned of it when I was working at a steakhouse, and I was like, brilliant, fantastic. Just another night where I'll make more money because people will be coming in for their really good steak. And so I'm excited that we are actually going to host an event that's focused on that. And it's literally I'm going to be sharing some of like my top recipes from some of the most beautiful high-end places that I've worked. I grew up with chefs too, so always very serious about my meat and potatoes and whatever other sides. So I'm going to be sharing some cool recipes and things like that. And then, of course, Amy is going to be helping us with all of the BJ stuff so that you just, again, just being more playful, having fun. There's nothing more creative than cooking and then trying something new that maybe you haven't done before, and or doing something you've done many times, but like from this new place, this new vibration, this new intention. And I mean, I can guarantee you don't know all of the tricks that Amy is going to teach you. So I'm really excited about this.
I talk all the time that I give people recipes that they like, and
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people who are allergic to to a blowjob or who don't necessarily want to do that. So one of my amazing techniques that I will be teaching that night is a move I call the oral free blowjob. And it is phenomenal. And I have others. And the thing that makes all of my teaching and all of my skills and techniques that I teach to men and women different is that it's about your pleasure. So I'm not teaching you what to do that he will like. I'm teaching you what to do that you will enjoy giving. Because that's the whole thing that makes a steak and a blowjob satisfying is that you enjoy it.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%. And anyone who resonates with like the kitchen witch, like when you put love into whatever you're cooking, and if you are a vegetarian, like I'll have some type of vegetarian option for you. But It just makes everything so much more fun, right?
Mm-hmm. It's so much more fun when you put love into it or when you enjoy it, or at least when you're trying something new. And when you're trying something new, the fun part about that is like, well, I'm trying a new recipe. Let's see how it is. And the best part about that is that we get to give up our expectations. And that's the problem with things like V-Day, Valentine's Day, is the
Mhm.
expectations. That's why people feel bad. But the piece that you and I both love about it is that there's love in the air. There's hearts everywhere. I love hearts. And there's love in the air. So it's that you suddenly become aware of it. So things like that will amplify your feelings like, oh, I'm in love, and it amplifies it, or it amplifies the absence of it, right? So in our last locker room, we talked about self-love and what love is, and I can't wait to see what the topic's going to be in the next one.
I know, I'm so excited.
Mhm.
So those are
Yeah,
on Thursday evenings, Eastern time, late afternoon, Pacific time. And then our Steak and BJ event is going to be on Friday, March 7th, evening, Eastern
yeah.
time, late afternoon, Pacific time, which is a week before Steak and BJ job day. So you
And it'll
have
be,
plenty of time to go to the store, go to the butcher, like get prepared, do the things that you want to do.
I love preparation and anticipation, and I promise this will be really fun and it won't be triggering. And I'm going to make sure that you leave with something that a recipe that you feel comfortable delivering to your loved one. Hey?
I love that. And I think that's an important piece that I also meant to share. So thank you so much for saying that. Because I know I have clients who had a lot of trauma of sexuality, and I have, and it really does change everything. But when you are learning more from this lens of like taking care of your brain, a lot of people also know like the gut is your second brain, but your skin is your third brain. And then when you add the science of sound frequency and vibration, especially with the humming
Hmm.
and then the noises that you're making and like paying attention to your throat and your chest, it really
Hmm.
changes the way that I believe, like real trauma therapy that actually works, it doesn't traumatize people, is related to involving all of your senses coming into homeostasis and balance. And so the things that Amy teaches really do that, especially when it comes to the skin and the sound frequencies. So if you're curious, like I think there's definitely a reason, because if you, I think everything's connected, right?
And
Because
it really is. There's a
yeah,
lot of research in my book about PTSD, brain frequencies, how when you're making the sound with yourself or with your partner, you are synchronizing your nervous system, your brain waves, and yeah, your skin, your body, all of your organs breathe and pulse together. So it's beautiful.
I
Mhm.
love that. I'm like, whose favorite vibrator setting is not pulse?
Oh, that's funny. In my couples program in my men's, I am teaching them wand techniques, because what I say is that if she can use her vibrator on herself, then she doesn't need you. So I teach you which toys to use and how to use them in a way she can't do it herself. You're welcome, ladies.
Exactly. I think that's such an important piece because, yeah, it's a whole nother conversation that we can have on Thursday. And also
That's
just
wonderful.
wanted to let you know that so we have the women's only locker room, the Steak and BJ's women's only, and the Amy does have men's only. So if you know someone who's curious, wants to be somewhere discreet and get real resources, like definitely send them that link, which will be below. But we're just excited. And I think also with this whole concept of like everything is connected, and for me, like I want to learn more things, right? Like just in general, I want to be open to new experiences, right? I want to and expect the best. It's just if I go in with the energy of fun and play and freedom, which are like my core values, like things are going to work out. And so there isn't an expectation of me even going through and like doing the things that we're going to be teaching you on the exact holiday. But it's something that I can keep in the back of my mind. And especially if like you are manifesting a partner, like this is just more information for you to have,
Oh yeah, I
you
want
know?
people to be prepared and to know what to do if they don't want to do it. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that too.
Yeah. And if you've ever been to Stony River and had their coffee cured filet, it's the most life-changing thing in the world. And I'm going to be giving you the recipe. And I told my best friend's husband, who owns a Stony River, that I was doing it and not to sue me.
I can't wait to get that recipe too.
It
And
literally melts in your mouth. It's the only filet that I eat that I don't demand a rosemary demi-glace.
and that's why we're doing this because you said that quote, which was, I take my meats seriously.
I do. I really do. I take cooking seriously because you're really giving a gift to somebody when you cook for them.
The
And like
energy.
one of the memes that came up recently that I thought was really interesting was um especially if you like shows that are talk about like the gods coming to earth to like help support us with stuff. The gods come to earth to literally eat really good food, drink really good wine, and fuck because they can't do that where they're in this other plane of existence. They can only do that in a human body.
That's why
So,
I say this, our sensory system is our access to our aliveness. Our
mm,
pleasure is our access to our aliveness. And it is the whole reason we get into an intimate relationship is to be able to share our pleasures, our guilty pleasures, our private self, free our jiggles, show our tushies. It's literally why we love each other.
I love that.
Mhm. Me too.
Amazing. Well, I hope that you will join us. Please feel free to share this with a friend if you think that it would be super fun to do with a friend. But Amy and I are so excited. We can't wait to see you there. And if you have questions, as always, please, please, please reach out to us.
See you soon.
Love you.